Studies show that students with special educational needs are 9 times more likely to be permanently excluded from school than their peers. But one all-boys school in London has managed to buck this trend. Even though half of Henry Compton's students are on the SEN register, the school has reduced its exclusion rate by 90% in the past 5 years.
It was fairly regularly that I was reporting that we were excluding in excess of 50 pupils a term on fixed-term exclusions. In my recent governor's report, I think we excluded 4 or 5. But exclusions is not used now as the kind of main means of managing pupil behaviour. It's more about intervention, it's more about understanding the learning needs of the pupil and about developing a team of professionals within the school that can actually deal with some very vulnerable pupils.
One of the keys to the school's success in reducing exclusions was the development of a nurture group. Run only in Year 7, between 6 and 8 selected students with special educational needs spend most of the school year with a dedicated teacher and learning support assistant.
Before we start this morning, I'm going to ask you to be filling in your feeling sheet for today, okay? After we've done that, we'll be having our circle time to discuss this. We're really fortunate at this school to have the funding and opportunity to have a nurture group. I personally believe that every child has the right to a mainstream education, and we need to change our learning environment to suit that child. That's not always possible in inclusive education in a classroom of 30 students, and that's no fault of mainstream teachers at all. It's that sometimes these students do not have the necessary skills to manage a mainstream classroom, no matter how good the teacher is. Sometimes they need explicit teaching to develop those skills, to understand what school is about.
An essential component of the nurture group is a daily circle time session.
I think I'll start. I have circled optimistic and interested. Kyle, how are you feeling today?
Bored.
You're bored? Okay. Anything that we can do to help your boredom? No. Okay. Any other emotions you're feeling today?
Aggressive.
Aggressive as well. Has something happened to make you feel aggressive?
Just feel so aggressive.
Okay. Is it something that's happened today that you woke up and felt like that, or has it been going on for a little while now?
So just today.
Been ages, has it?
No, something just today.
Just today? Okay. Well, if you want to talk about it, you can. Circle time is key to Nurture Group because it really does develop the skills which are necessary, and the skills which I'm trying to teach the boys, that of listening to each other, concentrating, speaking appropriately. Circle time really gives the boys an opportunity to talk about their emotions, and most importantly, it gives them a safe space where they know that they will be listened to, and they know that their views and comments will stay within the Nurture Group room. Okay then boys, thank you very much for listening. There were some really good listening skills there. I like the fact Khalid put his hand up, as did you, Matthew, and I like the fact that everybody joined in, so well done for that.
I don't think there's a one recipe fits all. I think these pupils need a specific program that deals with their particular issues, and they need time and an environment where they feel comfortable. So, you know, it's a holistic approach to pupils. So the nurture group, the entry criteria for a nurture group is not to find the worst behaved kids. It's the children whose learning is most at risk and who might find integration difficult.
To help build their confidence about being at school, students are asked to reflect on their personal self-esteem.
A long time ago, I asked you to write down a few things about how you were feeling, and we measured how you were feeling. Today's lesson, we're going to go back to that, and we're going to think about how you're feeling today. Okay, next one, school behaviour. This is how you feel about your behaviour at school.
1.
And why's that?
I always get angry with the teacher and freak out.
Okay. Should we write that down? Yeah? Okay, I'll write it on here, you type it up for me. I think what's really positive about this, Cara, is the fact that you are able to identify your emotion in terms of what's going on in the classroom. And I think that's the starting point, isn't it, really? Where would you ideally be on the scale, if you used a pen to point, in an ideal world? Where would you want to be? Up there. Okay, so we need to carry on working, don't we, to get you up there. We're currently at the stage where students are starting to reintegrate back into the mainstream lessons. One of the things we look at is their self-esteem, and we try and measure their self-esteem and confidence as a learner. We initially looked at their self-esteem as a learner back in October, and the idea of the comparison is really to show the child how much, if they have, developed in terms of their learning. I would like us to share one self-esteem scale. Okay, you don't have to share all of your work, just one that you feel happy sharing. Which one would you like to share with us?
School behaviour.
School behaviour, okay. How's your school behaviour changed?
At the beginning of the year, I was having like 2.
At the beginning, when you first came here, you were at a 2, yeah? Okay.
Now, I stopped talking back and answering back to teachers.
Yeah.
I stopped walking out of class.
Yeah.
Stopped saying bad things to teachers.
Yeah. Okay. I think what's really important to acknowledge, Khalid, is that actually you are the one who's been working really hard at this, and with the report system that you've been on with your head of year, that's also exactly, you've moved off the red report onto yellow report, and now you're onto white report, and you are the one who's done that, and you're the one who's improved. So that's really good. Well done. A lot of the ethos behind nurture groups is very primary school based. When I first started the nurture group, I was really worried and anticipated that it just would not work in a mainstream secondary school. However, I was surprised how the boys settled down really quickly. We need to remember that these are SEN pupils, and transferring to secondary school is a daunting prospect. We need to show them that we're not too dissimilar from primary school. We need to engage them from the very beginning, and we need to motivate them and build up their confidence as learners so that they can flourish in a secondary school environment. If we get the transition wrong, then the behaviours may not manifest straight away, but they will do later on, and then that could lead to an exclusion.
Students spend most of Year 7 within the nurture group, with the aim of graduating into mainstream Year 8. This transition needs to be carefully handled, so staff meet regularly with the Year 8 teachers throughout the reintegration process.
It's been a challenge in a sense, because with my 7C class I felt we were working really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just had to reassess how I plan the lesson and who works better together.
Yeah. It completely changes the dynamics of the group, obviously, but that is part of the reintegration process.
School evidence and the data we keep indicates that there's less disruption in class from these pupils once they've been through the kind of achievement group class.
Okay, so you take the love heart. Okay, well done.
It's really made these children more resilient in terms of dealing with secondary school, and also given us insight into the best way of managing their learning, because teachers know how to work with them. Teachers have been given strategies about what will work with them and how to access their learning.
Matthew's making steady progress,
Yeah, I think he is.
He's grown in confidence. I think he's really involved. Like yesterday's lesson, his hand was up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised by his literacy skills this week.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
He's much more independent, isn't he? And he's using some of the strategies and skills that you've been teaching him through the reading much more in the classroom. He's transferring those skills over, which is good.
I think it's okay now, because much better. At least I'm in my teaching set now. I can learn a bit more. I don't need to worry about me losing my temper, getting angry. I'm looking forward to Year 8 because other pupils are coming from Year 6 and they're going into Year 7. And we need to be more responsible to teach them how to do this and other stuff so that they don't follow other people in their bad stuff, so they don't get a wrong feeling about school.
The nurture group's ethos is not suitable for all students within the year group who are at serious risk of exclusion. The school has therefore teamed up with its local pupil referral unit. Transition tutors from the Bridge Academy come in regularly to work with these students.
Why do you think you've done so well this year? Because it was kind of, you know, we were a little bit worried about how you would settle in and things like that, but you settled in really, really well, and you had no problems. So what were the things you think that made it successful?
I think the teachers helped me throughout secondary school a lot. Well, year 7, not secondary school.
Yeah.
And I think I've learned to control my temper a lot more as well.
Definitely, you've done, yeah, definitely.
In Henry Compton, we've got a transition mentor who's working with a targeted number of young people across Hammersmith and Fulham who came into mainstream from year 6 with you know, emotional and behaviour difficulties that previously probably would have come straight to us into year 7. The fact that we were able to put the transition mentor into these schools has meant that those young people have managed to stay in their mainstream placements.
So what do you think's going well in school at the moment?
Well,
what kind of things?
I think most of my lessons are going really well.
Okay.
My teachers are nice. My work, I'm producing good work.
The work that the transition mentor has done in mainstream has absolutely brought down exclusion rates. It's also brought down the number of young people that we're going to need to be bringing in for managed interventions into any of our alternatives. By having a member of staff based in the secondary schools for a short period of time each week, they are there to do the work with those targeted young learners that are absolutely personalised around the needs of the young person and around the needs of the school.
The school's own mentoring team also provide personalised support packages for older students with special educational needs to help reduce their chances of exclusion.
Next year's year 10, right? You're going to be leaving year 9, you're going to be going into year 10. Right? And what I need to find out from you is what I can do for you as far as vocational education is concerned, because I need to know what kind of things you like doing, what you want to do, right, and what is going to motivate you to push on to get the grades that you require.
I would like to be doing stuff like plumbing and that for like next year, but that's for like more of a career stuff. But if I had more support in my lessons and stuff like that, it would help me to get a higher lesson, like higher levels.
Deep down, all these pupils want to learn. The key for us is finding what the best way of accessing the learning. And this is a vast array of professionals that have developed an expertise around intervention work and behaviour management, and they work to support teachers and to support pupils. And this has had an impact of reducing exclusions because if the behaviour and the learning is managed in a more controlled way, then there's less need to exclude pupils.
Is there anyone that you can work alongside that you feel comfortable with?
No, really, because I'm better if I work by myself.
Right, so you take you away from everyone else and just put you there to work on your own.
Dialogue is a really important factor that, you know, where if you are in a mainstream scenario and you've got a young person who's giving problems, or a statemented young person, or someone with SEN needs who you think is at risk of exclusion, you know, be proactive, go out there and find out what's available, see whether or not we can get some early interventions set up, you know, and be creative. You know, maybe there are other schools in the area that have got a similar problem, and by going out and having that conversation, having that dialogue with the professionals who are working around these young people, schools can only improve in terms of the practice that exists at the moment.